The top story that we are tracking at this hour. China has said that the recent terror attacks targeting Chinese engineers in Pakistan were unacceptable and demanded the Pakistani government to launch a crackdown against anti-China terrorist groups. In a rare show of public rebuff directed at Pakistani authorities, the Chinese envoy said that nothing can be achieved, quote-unquote, without safe and sound environment. Ambassador Jiang Zedong further said that the security was the biggest constraint to the China-Pakistan economic corridor. The Chinese ambassador made these remarks in the presence of Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar. The envoy said that it was very unacceptable for us to be attacked twice in only 6 months, and these attacks have also caused casualties. He expressed hope that Islamabad could further strengthen the security measures to protect Chinese personnel, institutions and projects. Dar has said in his speech that China never sends its personnel to a country with security issues and that Pakistan was the only exception. Now, the Chinese ambassador used his right to reply to clarify, saying, President Xi Jinping cares about Chinese people's security and puts people's lives first. Now, it is highly uncommon for a foreign diplomat to express divergent views from the host country's leader during his right to reply. During his speech, the Pakistani Deputy Prime Minister claimed that authorities have made arrests tied to the recent attacks on Chinese nationals. Now, in October, 2 Chinese nationals were killed in an explosion near the Karachi International Airport. It followed a suicide bomber that killed 5 Chinese engineers in March. Separatist militant group Baloch Liberation Army has taken the responsibility for the attack. In October, the BLA specifically targets Chinese interests, accusing Beijing of helping Islamabad exploit local resources. Our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik now joins us live from Islamabad. Anas, how are Ambassador Jiang Zedong's comments, which is a rare public rebuff that they are being read, given that it is highly uncommon for a foreign diplomat to express divergent views from the host country's leader during his right to reply, and also given that Foreign Minister Mr. Ishaq Dar did point out in his speech that China never sends its personnel to a country with security issues except in Pakistan?
Well, this would be read both sides. One, that Ishaq Dar trying to overshoot the China-Pakistan relationship, and the Chinese ambassador sort of giving a reality check on how the security issue needs to be addressed. Now, this, you rightly mentioned, this is very rare that for a diplomat of a foreign country to show divergent views, that too publicly in opposition to the foreign minister of that very country itself. So we're yet to see how the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs would be responding to the Chinese ambassador's public show of defiance in contravention to how the established diplomatic norms have been. But this goes on to show 2 things, most certainly. One, that China is not happy with the lack of security that has been provided on the part of Pakistan. The Chinese side have been pushing Pakistan, and Pakistan have to up the game when it comes to security bit. That is number 1. And number 2, I think the other thing that is also very clear is that all is not well between Islamabad and Beijing, and that is a clear manifestation through these comments. Something that Islamabad needs to seriously introspect, because to quote the Chinese ambassador, there have been 2 major attacks on Chinese nationals within a span of less than 6 months. The first attack being that in Bisham on March 26, and the second being earlier this month in Karachi, both targeting Chinese engineers, both having a similar modus operandi. That is a real point of introspection for the Pakistani authorities. The Pakistani side, of course, would want to assure, as they have been assuring in the past as well, but the pressure would now be on from Beijing onto Islamabad to walk the talk and rather not just do verbal assurances.
Anas, what does it tell us about the relationship between China and Pakistan? While you did briefly explain to us, also tell us how crucial is this relationship for Pakistan?
Well, the relationship is very, very crucial, both sides, not just Pakistan but for China as well. For its OBOR, or the One Belt One Road initiative, to succeed, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor was always seen as the flagship project. So irrespective of how the Chinese side would feel about this relationship. They have to make sure or posture to the world that the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, its flagship project, is a success. That goal gives a significance on the Chinese side. Why is this relationship important? For Pakistan, it is highly dependent on the Chinese investments and on these Chinese loans or debt trap, as it's being said. So for Pakistan not to irk or miss its most crucial ally, it would be on top of the agenda. The reason Islamabad, we saw that yesterday, despite of, as you rightly mentioned, that it was very, very rare of a foreign diplomat to publicly disagree with the sitting foreign minister, but despite of that, the foreign minister or the foreign ministry is yet to make down comments on that, putting out a clarification or showing their displeasure onto the act of the Chinese ambassador. So that goes on to show that how both sides are just trying to manage and mitigate through murkier waters in order to make sure that this relationship continues. And I'm sure ahead of the visit of the Pakistani president that is to take place from the 4th to the 7th of November next month to China, and this is the first bilateral visit of President Asif Ali Zardari after having taken charge in March this year. This matter will also be taken up.
Thank you so much, Anas, for joining us with that detail.